Welcome to episode 24 of This Song Fucking Sucks. Today's guest, Joe K, can be heard with his band Monte Casino, which also features friends Tony Molson from The Servants, Mavalore, and Devil in California, as well as Tim Pride from Pebble Theory. Their new record entitled Here and There will be available in the coming month. You can see JP on Thursday, December 12th at Blacklight District Lounge in Long Beach, California with Dinosaur Dick. My good friend Leonard Feingold will be performing with the Northern California Spasmatics in Placerville at the Red Hawk Casino on November 25th, as well as Rouge in San Francisco on December 2nd. If you enjoy the show, and I know you do, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. You can also like our Facebook at facebook.com/TSFNS, and we're on Twitter at TSFNSucks. You can hashtag anything at TSFNS, and today's lyric rewrite contest will be hashtag UnskinnyBopBirth. So anything pertaining to this episode specifically and your lyric rewrites, hashtag it UnskinnyBopBirth, and we will read it and do something really cool with it. Now listen. Not a dime. I can't pay my rent. I can barely make it through the week. Saturday night, I'd like to make my girl. But for now, I can't make ends meet, no. Today we listen to Nothing But a Good Time by Poison, and this song fucking sucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, from all over the country, it's time for This Song Fucking Sucks!
The podcast where we listen to a song deemed questionable, objectionable, and generally unlistenable, and ask why. With me is my co-host, JP. What's going on, JP?
How are you? Good morning. Very nice, thank you here. Come on, yay.
Good.
How are you?
Answer.
How are you, kid?
I'm great. I'm spectacular.
Good.
I brought along an old friend, my man Joe K, who is a recording engineer and also a member of the San Francisco band Monte Casino. Joe, how you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolument.
And today we brought along a great song, a classic, all the way back from 1988. Nothing But a Good Time by Poison.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Where to start on this delightful...
I mean, I don't know where to start. This song fucking sucks. I mean...
That's the start there.
Let's just start with that.
Okay, so here's the deal, right? I mean, we got this is Poison, right? And, this is that part of the whole hair metal scene, in the 80s that got very popular. But really, the way I look at it is... this is a party song, right? And I don't have anything against a party song. I mean, the lyrics don't have to be... If you can write a good party song without having terrible lyrics. And what I thought of a lot was, a band like Van Halen was great at writing party lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But having them be very interesting, right? Mm-hmm. And feel personal, right? And, it just, that's, for everything that's great, it seems like, and you guys have talked about this in the past, there's a bunch of bands that kind of dilute it and make something bad out of something great. And I think this is a classic example of where a great Van Halen song could go bad, where you just use these, generic lyrics, right, to talk about a good time that don't even... obviously, they don't even make sense together. There's no flow. There's no story. It's cherry picked here and there. And yeah, I know we're going to go through each one of those, but I'd like to just point out that this is, where you can go from something great like a early Van Halen record to something so bad in essentially the same genre of just having a party song.
That's a great parallel to Van Halen. I didn't even occur to me now you say that. I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because, I mean, it seemed like everything Poison was doing, on those first couple of albums was all just stupid boogie-woogie riffs,
Dude, this riff from the that riff right when it starts off, I'm like, I hate this song already. It's like it's just so blues stupid. Like it's like dumb. Yeah. It just reminds me of dumb people.
Yeah. It reminds me of like a bad like how to play guitar video.
Yeah.
Like here's Boogie Woogie riff number 37.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what's so amazing about this riff that I wrote down is that it's so bad and they play it a ton, right? And then in like the 2/3 of the way through the song, he goes, guitar! And they just break it down to that terrible riff that he plays verbatim. And it's comical. It's really comical.
It is song by numbers.
Oh, totally. I actually had that exact thing written in my notes. Song by numbers. Oh, that's funny. Good job. Read my mind over here. Come on.
Going back to the Van Halen thing, like they would do things that were a boogie feel, and they would kill it.
But like jump. I might as well jump. Like how much cooler is that song in this song? Right? And they're both just like stupid fucking party songs, but jump is so much like far superior in every way. Just the music alone before, I mean, David Lee Roth is 100 million times better than Bret Michaels could ever imagine to do. But that being said, watching this video, because, I like to watch the videos while we set up for this thing. Yeah. This is, Steel Panther basically just was like, we're going to go be Poison. I mean, everything about Steel Panther is they're ripping it off Poison. So I see this now and I'm going, wow, this is a joke. They were a joke. They were already the joke. And Steel Panther was just like, we're just gonna be them.
They just didn't know it yet.
And Steel Panther actually strikes me as being better musicians.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Oh, they definitely are.
Oh,
unquestionably.
I mean,
they kind of do it better as a joke, which is a joke in itself. I don't know.
I guess
funny.
Once, because we were all, I don't know if did you go to music school too? Me and Jeff were like inundated in music culture.
I'm a self-taught dude.
We were shelled in like this world of music that was awesome. And I forgot about 80s stuff for the most part when I was in school.
Right.
And I went back after school and kind of was revisiting some 80s bands. And then I went, let me go check out Poison again. Because I guess when I was a kid, I had a Poison tape. I remember having Look What the Cat Dragged In or Open Up and Say Ah, whatever the one with the tongue on it was. Whatever that one was.
This one, Open Up and Say Ah.
Okay, so I had that one. And I guess I liked it as a kid, maybe. I don't remember. But then when I went back and listened to this band again, I'm like, this band fucking sucks.
Yeah.
This is like the Linkin Park, you know what I mean, of nu metal. This is they are that of the 80s.
Yeah.
Everything that was cool about 80s music, they ruined. This band fucking ruins it.
I know. Single-handedly.
They just fucking kill it.
It makes sense, though, that you liked it when you were a kid. Because it's like, that's kind of the level that they operate on. Like, this is like, if you're into The Little Mermaid, this is the rock band for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's nothing dangerous about these lyrics at all.
No.
It's not like Guns N' Roses where he's like, I get up around 7, I get up bed around 9, I'm a fucking drug addict and an alcoholic, and, I like to beat people up. And I'm like, that's awesome. This is like, and even in the video, it's like a kid working at a fucking, doing dishes. It's like everything is just fucking lame. It's so lame.
Can I tell you about that video too? The end of the video, he gets berated, right, by so he gets berated at this thing, and then at the end of the video, his comeback is he cleaned the dishes and did his job.
I'll show him.
That's going to be so rock and roll.
The message they were giving everybody was, be complacent.
This is why Nirvana completely changed the world.
Totally.
I mean, that's why that's why one of the reasons why they became so popular, because they were the anti-Poison, really.
Exactly.
I mean, if you could pick one band that's all in response to, I mean, that would be it. Poison.
And people are just like, enough of this.
Exactly. I mean, this video, everything about this. I don't know. This band is.
Where do you guys want to take it? The terrible guitar tone. We can talk tones. I mean, that guitar tone is just the worst.
There's a lot of bad tones, and just musicianship in general is just deplorable. Going back to Guns N' Roses again, like you listen to Appetite, and just everything that everyone's doing on that record, every element is interesting.
Yes.
On its own, but fits together like a puzzle to make something better than the individual thing.
Yeah.
This is like the opposite.
Yes.
Every piece sucks, but you put it together, and then it really sucks.
Yep. Exactly.
It's like makes it worse.
This definitely feels like everything feels manufactured.
Well, it's definitely played to a click too. I mean, you could tell like it feels like it. It feels like it wasn't like a live performance at all. So that kind of also adds to it. And the production in general just feels rushed. I mean, it doesn't feel like they really took their time, obviously on the lyrics, but just on anything else.
I have in my notes here that just the drum sound alone is so stupid because the snare drum sounds like you're in the biggest church around, and then the ride cymbal's close mic'd. So we get to the chorus, it's like ting 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 ting, and you can like hear the stick hitting the ride, but then you have the snare that's like boom, it's just exploding like a shotgun, and then the kick drum's like boom boom and just punching really hard. Like it's actually a really good kick sound. It's like punching me in the gut. But like none of it makes any sense as a unit. No,
and if you listen to the bass tone, and I'm a bass player, so the bass tone is very.
Oh, there's a bass
wimpy.
in this song?
It's very Is there even bass in the song? I mean, it's interesting because my first note was the bass player wasn't doing anything, but it's funny, he actually does do some stuff, but the tone is so weak that it doesn't even play a part in the song at all, and of course it doesn't mesh with the kick drum, which. I mean, that's kind of nuts and bolts, man. Get your bass and kick sounding good in any recording.
The snare sounded like my Alesis SR16 drum machine from 1996.
It doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound real.
It doesn't sound real, and it may not be. Who knows?
It could be what's the drummer from Def Leppard? Tim Allen?
Rick Allen.
That's the one.
Tim Allen's Home Improvement.
Because he has all these programmed snares because he only has one arm. That's what it sounds like. It could be one of Rick Allen's fucking programmed snares. They were like, hey, that's a good sound. Let's use that one.
Yeah.
Really, it has no dynamics to it. It's just like, ta!
It's just, pow! It sounds like someone just fucking... He's like, boom, boom. Every fucking snare sounds like a shotgun going off. It's like, this is so stupid. This song's stupid. I hate this song. And I hate the way Bret Michaels is like, like a Scooby-Doo, gonna scrap a do. I got twang, I am a country dude. Wait, what's going on here?
Let's start taking it from the top.
Okay.
We're kind of getting into it. So first of all, we discussed the riff, and the riff is just like bullshit boogie-woogie kind of crap, which all their songs are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this again? Great.
Isn't Unskinny Bop basically the same song as this?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like it's the same song.
Well, it has a little doodly-doodly-doo.
Oh, yeah, the doodly-doo, yeah.
That's the doodly-doo.
Could have easily picked that one instead of this one, right?
Totally could have.
They're all interchangeable.
Yeah. They suck.
What is an unskinny? What the fuck is that? It's not a thing.
I don't even. That's
fucking
see. As a kid,
stupid.
I remember.
That one really caught on, right? People were using that all the time.
Yeah.
Not.
Was that what that was about? I mean, I guess we could just talk about it right now, real quick. Unskinny Bop. That's about banging, right?
I assume so.
I remember being a kid and being like, I just thought it was hooky because it's super hooky.
Right.
And I was a kid.
When you're 6, it's like, oh, this is pretty cool.
But now I hear it, I'm like, that's so fucking dumb. Adults liked that. Like, people were getting laid on the Sunset Strip to that song, probably in the bathroom at the fucking Viper Room.
Almost definitely.
At least some good came out of it, I guess.
Yeah, right? Fuck yeah. Thank you, Poison.
In fact, we probably know someone who is an unskinny bop birth.
Hashtag unskinny bop birth. Got it.
One of the things that bugs the shit out of me about the song is all the little things that Brett says in between words.
Yeah, right. Now listen!
And like, that shit, and like the beginning of the song, he's doing all that kind of rapping. He's doing the laughing. The laughing bugs the shit out of me. Just shut up, Dick. Stop fucking laughing, you fucker.
When I was watching the video, all I could think about was, you remember that video where he got hit by the closing stage door?
Fuck yeah, how could you forget?
Joe, did you see that? Did you ever see that video?
No.
So
I'll look it up.
He was like, I don't remember what it was, an award show or something, and he was stuck at the front of the stage, and the stage, it was like a huge curtain, but it was like a wall that was coming down, and so he's doing his fucking stupid shit. Then he turns around to go back onto the stage because he knew it was like the timing was, this is when I'm supposed to be bound back there.
Yeah.
He turns around, starts running, and the fucking thing catches him and just knocks him flat on his fucking ass.
Oh my
it's
God.
so awesome. It was like, God redemption
it's awesome.
For being so shitty, and ruining fucking music. It's like, fuck you, Bret Michaels. George Michaels.
George Michaels
he's
is
cool.
awesome.
I like George Michaels.
Yeah, me too.
I like George Michaels.
But Bret Michaels, No, Bret Michaels.
No,
you
but
deserve
back
that.
to what you were saying about his little ad libs and stuff. A friend of mine calls those Bryan Adamsisms because he's and he's like the king of it. He's good at it, right?
Yeah.
But
he's got a good voice and stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you could
But
kinda-
Bret
Bryan
Michaels is poor at his Bryan Adamsisms.
he's pretty much poor at everything, and the slapback on his vocals, it just is so comical. I think he thinks he's Elvis, Mm-hmm.
I think he thinks he's cool. That's what I think. When you look at some of the singers that came out of the 80s, you have people that could sing really, really well, like, Cinderella and Steelheart. These guys could fucking sing Queensryche. And then this guy's just got this sort of mid-range, anybody can do it, average Joe thing.
Out of tune.
Yeah.
Could not carry a tune if it were in a suitcase, man.
So whoever constructed the melody definitely made it, okay, you're not really very good, so we're going to make sure this melody only goes up about a fifth here and there.
Yeah, and you've talked about that before. I've listened to some of the shows, and you're like, it doesn't go anywhere. There's
just
no lift.
sits.
There's really not a lift to
So,
it.
because when I was, exactly, it just sits in this one spot the whole time. I mean, the chorus is catchy, I guess, but it's still right in that same spot of the range.
And did you notice there's not like cool harmonies or anything?
Nothing.
They could have done that. I mean,
No, not really.
That's something that my band tries to do at least.
Yeah.
Tony's
Well,
the drummer in Monte Casino is a singer, and
Harmony King.
he does like amazing harmonies that kind of do that. And I was like, wow, once again, they just didn't spend any time on the chorus. We
Which
got
is-
this hook. Let's just sing it 15 times, backup vocals, unison, and we're done.
So you're a producer. Tom Werman.
I think he's done Cheap Trick, and he's actually done some good stuff. That's the first one that comes to mind.
Let's see. You're right. REO Speedwagon, Cheap Trick, Ted Nugent,
Makes sense.
Boston. Wow, yeah, he's done some awesome stuff.
Right.
Striper.
You never know how much time
Striper.
they spend on any given song. Yeah.
Then he hits his Now Listen. That's his
Now listen.
entering Bryan Adamsism.
Yeah, we're already listening.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's a song. That's what you do.
I wish I did. Yeah.
From the very beginning, I can't understand what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's going da 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 da.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know he said
What?
not a dime until I looked at the
Yeah, I
lyrics
know.
up to
Me
it.
neither.
Not a dime. Is that English? Was that
Nope.
English? Could be any language.
Nope. And he does all the putting the uhs in between words. I can't pay my rent,
Oh.
Can barely make it through the, just to fucking
Make it bounce
you know.
more? Just to have
Ooh,
that
I didn't
bounce.
catch
And
that,
it's
but
so
you're right, that's
bad.
terrible.
Oh, he does it all over the place, and it's so silly. And a lot of it is to do with he didn't have quite enough syllables in a lot of
Right.
the lines to make it make sense melodically.
Mm-hmm.
And so he starts injecting random uhs into places, and it's just all bad.
You know what I was going to say about this, just, I don't know, popped into my head, is when this song came out, I was pretty young, but I remember in Detroit, I grew up in Detroit, and there is a pretty well-known radio personality. His name is Dick Purton. And I'll never forget this, but he used to do, and this is way back in the day, it was like one of the first people I've ever seen do this, but he would read song lyrics, like popular song lyrics.
Oh, that's such a good
But he
idea.
would, yeah, right. And if you've got a good radio personality and a good voice, and you can add a little schmaltz to it, it's great. And I'll never forget he did not this song, but he did "Talk Dirty to Me," and I remember it was the first time I was like,
Aren't they all the same?
"Wow, this really sounds stupid."
Yeah.
Even as a young age, I was like, and then I kind of shook it off because I was young and a kid and was like, "Oh, whatever, talk dirty to me." But
I just realized something when you said that. Talk dirty to me is, it's like this. That's the same basically refrain at the end of "Gotta get away from the same, talk dirty to me." It's like all the same shit, and it's the fucking same song. Oh my god, I hate this band so much more right now.
He's got like
I
one
know.
melody
One
in his
thing.
head,
Fuck
Speaking
him.
of one thing, same chords
all the way.
the way through the fucking song. With the only difference is that like when they're doing the verses and like the main riff, it's like 2 bars of A and then G and then D.
Right.
And then they get to the chorus and they move that bar of A to the end, so it's bar A, G, D, bar A. And so it's just changed like
genius songwriting.
yeah, but it's the same chords, the same order, fucking whole time. The whole time. Doesn't fucking change. Not at the bridge. At the bridge, still same fucking chords. Like,
oh, yeah.
Usually, like, I'm of the mind that chords aren't super important. They're just, something to allow the melody to happen. But in this case, clearly that didn't happen. So it's like, you gotta have something. So since their melody choices are meaningless, at least have some chords or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do something.
Fuck this band.
Fuck this band.
With that terrible tone.
Okay, and then, he could barely make it through the week. Saturday night, he'd like to make his girl. So
what does that mean?
Shit does that mean?
I'd like to make my girl.
So I have a couple of theories.
Okay.
I got a couple of theories.
He's gonna... Okay,
One...
Okay. Can't wait to hear this.
Okay. Well, one, does that mean he wants to hump her? I want to make my girl?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to mean, but...
Right. But not really a particularly good way, not a very clear way, or...
Nope.
It's like what little kids say when they have to piss or something.
I have to make wee-wee!
Right?
Yes!
It's like, I want to make my girl. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he wants to pee on her or something. Or
now I'm starting to like the song more. Keep going. Now it's getting better.
Yeah.
Or... Is it a Frankenstein weird science situation where he's building a girlfriend out of spare parts?
Yes.
And Saturday night, he's in his laboratory, like,
stitching her
sewing
together
body parts and
yes.
attaching diodes and shit.
All right, I'm getting now. Again, either way, I like this song better now.
Yeah,
that's way too interesting for what he could have intended. I mean, come on.
Oh, totally.
But right now, he's got to make ends meet.
So here's what I think. Maybe it was Saturday night, I'd like to meet my girl, but right now I can't make ends meet. And somebody said, Brett, do you know any more than like the 10 words that you use in every song? And he said, well, I could change Saturday night, I'd like to make my girl. And they'd be like, well, fuck, that doesn't make sense, but at least you're not using meat again.
I know. That is almost definitely exactly what happened.
I think you've just figured that one out, Joe. I think you just nailed that
definitely. One. Like, see, that's from the mind point of
someone who's been involved in a songwriting session with a band.
Yeah. Like, on the talkback, like, can you put a different word there? It's a little redundant. And at the end of that one, he does another Bryan Adamsism where he goes, but right now, I can't make ends meet. No.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Just shut up, dude.
I just think Brett thinks he's so cool, Everything about him, It reminds me of, it's like a diva quality where you're like, this guy just thinks he's so cool and he's such a tool. Like, you'd see him walking down the street, you'd be like, oh, I'd be saying shit like, fucking tool bag kid. Huh? You're fucking douchebag, dude. But I just feel like side talking some douche like this. It's just such a tool.
They don't have anything to back up their rock and roll sunset strip swagger.
No.
You know how much pussy he probably got, though?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Quite a bit. And that was the thing, like, this was like a girls' band. All the girls would go to see them, and then the dudes would go because the girls were there.
Didn't they? Right. Well, exactly. This was completely formulated for chicks. Like, I bet there was probably 80% or 70 to 30% chicks to guys in these shows. Sure. That's why people definitely got laid at these shows. But wasn't there one of their covers where there's like 4 pictures of their faces and they were completely dressed in drag, basically? That was Poison,
the first
right?
One.
That's Poison.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Guys that look like girls get all the girls. That's what it really came down to.
Well,
androgyny.
They're a protege, or they're influenced by Kiss, clearly.
Okay.
I mean, I knew that from before, but you can read up, obviously, wiki this stuff. But and it's interesting because that I think it comes from that, the makeup, and they just put their own spin on it. Like, we'll do more of a drag thing than what Kiss did. But it's funny because I've never been a Kiss fan. I'll be honest. So
I'm not a Kiss fan either.
It sort of made sense to me that I didn't like this band either from the moment they came out.
I know for me, Kiss, when I was a kid, I never even liked Kiss because I never understood, I never got it. Like, you see this guy that's dressed up like a dragon with his fucking tongue winging around, blood come out of his face, and he's saying, I want to rock and roll and party all night and every day. You're like, wait, what? For me, it was so, the visual to the sonically made no sense that I wrote them off as a kid. Like, I don't get it. That's stupid. I don't get it.
Especially when you get to, like, Beth.
Oh, Beth is.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? You guys, like, look so hardcore, and you're singing this stupid song, Beth, what can I do? It's like, what?
Nothing they did made any sense to me ever.
Yeah, well, at least when they're doing God of Thunder, it's like, yeah that makes sense to me.
I never got
Beth is one of the worst ballads of all time,
totally.
Heavy metal ballads,
Totally.
period.
It's garbage.
Well, because they let the drummer sing it. It's like, that's like a Ringo moment. Like, we'll give this one to Peter.
Like, give it to Ringo. This song sucks here. And then they like, pass it over to Ringo.
Exactly.
Anyway, so to get back to the Kiss influence, I don't think I would have got that. All I just see is a bunch of guys that are trying so hard. It just looks like everything about Poison to me. It's just so poser. I don't buy any. The drummer's standing up and playing and like doing all this fucking. He's like smiling, like pointing at with his stick. I'm like, yeah, you're a tool. You're a tool.
Yeah, why don't you learn how to play something, you dick?
Yeah.
Holy shit, his fills are so
dumb.
Bad.
They're so dumb.
They're so bad. They're just like dot, 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 dot. It's like fucking caveman
drumming.
drums.
Yep, exactly.
Fucking idiot. Pre-chorus. I'm always working, slaving every day. Got to break away from the same old. I need a chance just to get away. If you could hear me think, this is what I'd say.
I don't know. Is that brilliant? Because sometimes I'm like, something might be so bad, it might actually be amazing. This is one of those lyrics. I'm leaning toward terrible, though. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yes. It's not what you're saying. It's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
It should be, if you could hear me think, this is what I think.
Yeah. It'd be like, that's all you'd hear.
Would it be better if he said, if you could read my mind, this is what I think, what I'd say?
But then he goes to what he's thinking and saying, and it's so dumb that you're like, you're a loser.
It's a complete lack of subtext. This song is so literal.
Yeah.
It's obscene.
Well, it's the funny thing about the chorus is like, if you could hear me think, like there's going to be something very, interesting. It's
profound.
like, this is a base need he's talking about. It's instinct.
Yeah.
It's not even thinking. I mean, that's what's so ridiculous.
This is his reptile brain. This is the level of thinking that snakes have.
Yes.
Right.
Which are basically just,
Yeah.
warm, eat.
Pee, poop, fuck, sleep.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really qualify for thinking at all, really.
Impulse.
So now that we know that we can't hear what he's thinking, but we're gonna know what he's saying. What does he say, Jeff? What does he say?
Don't need nothing but a good time. How can I resist? Which, when I say it like that, it sounds like Woody Allen. How could I resist?
You sound like Dick Burton from 80s Detroit radio. I love it.
Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah, that's what he would do.
Ain't looking for nothing but a good time. And it don't get better than this.
Hey.
So sibilant there. And like all that, you hear all that slap back and verb on the S, like
Sizzle
into
ride.
the night. The thing about that line, it don't get better than this, could either be like, yep, this is the life, it don't get better than this, or it can be, it's not going to get any better than this. I think at the time it was a celebration, and now it's just like, what am I doing with my life?
Why doesn't this drummer ever sit the fuck down and play his drums?
Is that why he can't play anything? Because he's
standing up all the time. What a douche.
Take a lesson, you schmo. This is where it starts to fall apart as far as, our storyline that, he's just struggling. He's like, busboy level, not making much money, but whatever he can scrape together, he likes to go out on the weekend and forget about everything and just have a good time. But then you kind of get to the second verse and it loses that thread. They say I spend my money on women and wine. First of all, do they say it or do you really do it?
Right, I know. They say it. Isn't that what you're doing?
And who's they?
Who's they? I don't know. My mom. And the wine thing. Like, wine is this weird thing. It's got a dichotomy, like, either, like, classy people drink wine or, like,
jug wine.
hobos.
Yeah. Box wine.
This band is a lot more of a, like, beer...
Yeah.
Party band.
Wine's not very rock and roll. It's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, I like wine. I'm just saying, but
Yeah, I don't go to the Poison concert and go like, Give me a Merlot, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, that just shows like that lyric though is completely written as a cliche. Thoughtlessly
Totally.
put in there because it's a cliched thing to say those words.
Totally.
And Bret Michaels doesn't have any way of writing something interesting, so he's like, I heard my dad say this one time.
Going back to Guns N' Roses, Night Train, that's cheap wine, So it was about how they like to drink cheap wine.
But that's cheap
That's
wine.
right. That's what it's about,
It's cheap wine. Yeah.
Everything about Guns N' Roses is cool, though.
Totally.
Those lyrics are thought out and brash. They're just like, fuck you. Yeah, they're gross.
Yeah, they're nasty and aggressive.
Right, and the music backs it up, and the music kind of feels that. It's sleazy, right? There's no sleaze in Poison.
And this line, everything they're trying to be sleazy here, and this is those moments where...
And missing the mark.
That's it.
This is the thing and it comes back again and again on this cast, is that I don't see how people don't see it. People love Disturbed, and it's such a farce, and they love Linkin Park, it's such a farce, and when this band was at the height of whenever this song was, there were so many people there watching it and supporting it. How could you look at this band or hear this song and not go, there's no substance to this whatsoever? Yet, they sold millions of records, made tons of money, and have a giant career based on it, and greatest hits album, and people were in and sold. How? So it makes me just be like, I don't get something. There's something I don't understand.
Maybe this was like maybe they got a lot of their money from like the tween, like early teens. Like maybe that's just... It hit that
makes sense.
note, and there was a lot of money in that, and that's where they cashed in.
Yeah,
kind of like that era is like One Direction,
right?
Or something,
like we're trying to take them seriously, but they're kind of just not a serious. They're not meant for adult consumption.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know.
That doesn't make them good.
No.
You should
Yeah,
give them a
no,
pass, but
doesn't.
I think on the level of the selling records and stuff, I think that's a lot of where their audience was.
Okay.
Middle school girls.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, I'm so bad.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, maybe a lot of guys latched onto it because the girls
chicks
were
were there.
liking it, and they thought they'd get,
totally.
the classic, I want to be where the
wanna get
girls
laid.
are, and I don't care if this sucks, I'm going to,
Yeah, like Kanye.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing too. I mean, if girls are into it and there are girls there, the guys will just go to pick up on the girls.
Right,
you know, they don't give a shit that the
A lot
band
of lot of tickets, concert tickets sold that way.
exactly. So the last line here. I'm really sorry about the shape I'm in.
Wait, no.
I just
We didn't even get to, but I couldn't tell you where I spent last night.
Oh yes, go ahead.
She says, they say I spend my money on women and wine, but I couldn't tell you where I spent last night.
Right.
Is that English?
I don't. But
Where
I
I
couldn't
s-
tell you where I spent last night.
Where I spent last night?
Grammatically, it's okay.
Spent money? Or where he slept?
No, where he slept
But he's saying spent.
because he was so drunk.
I don't know. It's a stupid way of getting the word spent into the sentence, and it's lame. It's just lame.
I think that's the only clever thing he's done.
I guess so, but
It's
it's so lame. It's so obvious, and it's so obvious. You know.
Yeah,
It kind of
it's
it bothers me.
because I'm a wild man. I blacked out. Here's another thing too: is like it alludes to and is supposed to mean like, oh, I was partying so hard last night that I don't remember where I slept. But it could also mean I can't tell you where I spent last night because I was doing something I don't want to admit to.
Anal.
He's diabetic.
I don't know what that's to do with anything.
No, I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Interesting aside about Bret Michaels.
Interesting fact. Hey, you know what? Remember how we're doing 3 things we learned on the podcast? That's the first one.
Let's see. Okay. So then we go, and then it's like almost completely done with the lyrics. There's only 2 verses. Pre-chorus is identical. Another chorus.
I'm really sorry about the shape I'm in. I just like my fun every now and then.
Oh yeah, shit. We didn't get
so
to that. I'm sorry.
He likes his fun every now and then. This is so stupid.
First, he does another. I just like my phone. He says phone.
Instead
Every
of
now
fun,
and then.
as I like a.
Yeah, I like my phone every now
because
and then.
I
What
like
does that
my
mean?
phone. Yeah, because it's supposed to be his twang or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, it's so stupid. But when it turns into a completely different word, you've overdone it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a terrible line. That might be the worst line of the. That might be the worst line of the song right there.
It could be.
Joe.
I mean,
Thank you, Joe.
Who doesn't? Isn't that the definition of fun?
Yeah.
You know what I hate?
I hate fun. Fun is stupid.
I fucking hate it.
well, wait, and why do you only like it every now and then?
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you have fun all the time if you could?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? Sometimes I'm like, I don't no time for fun. I gotta sit home and cry myself to sleep.
Fuck George Michaels. Oh, I love George, but I keep getting George and Brett confused now in my head.
It would be an interesting band though if George Michael fronted Poison.
It'd be way better.
Yeah.
It would. Oh yeah, they would have like good songs. They'd be played poorly, but they'd be sang great.
Yes. Yes.
Imagine them doing "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go."
Oh God.
They could do that because that's kind of got that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Fits into the one feel they can do.
Ugh.
All right. So yeah, once we get past that second verse until you get to the bridge, there's no new lyrics.
Until this amazing bridge.
You see, another one of those Bryan Adamsisms. Raise a toast to all of us who are breaking our backs every day. If wanting the good life is such a crime, Lord, then put me away. So, wanting the good life, right? I thought that he didn't have a dime and couldn't pay his rent. So now we're talking about a completely different situation.
What the fuck?
You know?
Yeah.
The song wasn't about wanting the good life. The song was about he's struggling, he's blue collar, but you know, on the weekend he likes to let loose and blow off some steam. That's not really the good life.
This bridge makes these lyrics in this bridge make absolutely no sense whatsoever. And how the fuck did God get into the goddamn song?
Because it's a word and it fits.
Well, he's priming up his country career, right? I mean,
Yeah. So he's got to get that. He's got to get
he's
that
like,
right
I'm going
wing.
to the country. I'm going to get some Jesus involved here. You know?
Yeah, and can we put him away? I would be happier if we did.
I'd be more than happy to do so.
Yeah, what? And who said it was a crime? Who said it?
Yeah, what?
Okay, you
What?
want to go to the bar and have a beer and sing some stupid country songs? Go ahead. Who the fuck is stopping
Well, that's
you?
what's interesting because he's like you say, it's not edgy at all or it's not sleazy at all.
No,
It's
no.
like everything he's doing, everybody in the world does, like
Yeah.
every weekend,
Yeah.
and no one criticizes it. I mean, it's just silly.
I know.
Oh yeah, have a drink, whatever. Go try to pick up women. Yeah, none of those things are like incredibly.
Jeez, I've never done that before.
Subversive.
I know. He's like, hey, Mom, I'm going out to the bars. He's like, okay, have a good time. Don't tell me how to live. You know, that's where
No,
he's
don't
at,
try to
you know?
stop me. No, you should get out. You need to get out more.
Just lock me
have a
up.
nice time.
Just fucking lock me up then. Just fucking lock me up.
Here's some money for the jukebox. Fuck you, Mom. Fuck you.
You're right. This is a very tame
Yeah.
song.
Dude, it's so
really
it's
is.
like hey guys, we have to write the lamest anthem ever for everybody out there. Make it as lame as possible, and we'll sing it with a lot of oompla, 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 hoopla, oomph, whatever the word I'm looking for.
Oomfla. I like oomfla.
Oompla. Fuck this band. Fuck this song.
Hashtag oomfla.
Oompla.
And then we get the here's to ya.
Oh yeah.
He's always got to have one of those motherfucking things into the solo too. You can't just go into the solo. You got to have a little fucking comment.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Once again, I don't think it's good.
No, but he's got to do it every time. Every song he does that. And it's just like, shut up. Thus brings in the disappointment that is CC DeVille. That guy's bad news, man.
Yeah.
He's a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you got a lot to say about that, Jeff.
I do.
But I mean, I'll start by saying sometimes this happens. I've other songs you guys have mentioned it. It starts out maybe okay.
Yes, exactly what I was going to say.
Like, hey, he's got maybe a motif here. He's got an interesting idea that maybe he's going to work on. But the funniest thing about it is I guess he blows his wad halfway through.
Yes.
And then he just completely relies on cliched licks like for the whole second half of the chorus. It's like, dude, maybe where was Tom Werner? He should have been like, let's cut this solo in half, guys.
Yeah.
We clearly don't have enough material for 16 bars or whatever it was, or 8 bars. So that was kind of what got me with this solo. Had promise.
Yeah.
Had promise.
he also sort of flubs or like loses his timing a little bit in that halfway mark too, like where he starts to get sloppy in the middle of it, and that's where it all starts to fall apart. But all that being said, this is the best part of the whole song. So take it or leave it. There it is. This is the highlight of the song, and it still sucks ass. So
it's the best we get.
There's always that.
Yeah, you could see him like struggling not to rush it, and just the worst vibrato of all time. It's just such a nervous hamster vibrato. It's like cannot keep the note in tune. His bends are all fucked up and very worked out sounding.
Yeah.
Very clearly like, okay, let's think about these two bars.
Yeah, exactly. Take this by the bar.
Yeah, completely, 100%. And you can also tell by how the phrases are just like ba-ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da.
Yes.
Da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da. Da ba da ba da ba, and they all end on a big like resolution note.
Right.
Resolution note. And whenever he slows down to play a long note, he gets into his vibrato, and it's just so atrocious. It's one of these things where guys who are coming up and learn how to play fast don't know how to hold a note. They have no vibrato, where it's like...
Yeah. It's funny you say that. Yesterday, when I've been cleaning my apartment in preparation for my wonderful wife-to-be arriving from Canada, and I was listening to Radiohead's OK Computer, and Johnny Greenwood can fucking
Amazing.
He can hold one fucking note, and you're like... That like David Gilmour too, like those two guys. It's like one note, and I feel so much emotion and passion inside of me hearing one fucking note. My hat's swelling, dude.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And CeCe DeVille, even back then, though, he kind of had a bad reputation as not being one of the better guitarists in that genre. And it just becomes worse over time.
I actually wrote in my notes here, I said, solo, check. Memorable? No.
It's a matter of playing few notes that have meaning or playing a lot of notes that are all completely meaningless.
Yes.
Great, you played all the notes and no one cares.
Yeah.
Whereas, can you play a couple of notes that really have depth? This has no depth. This is paint by numbers. This is totally put together. Okay, so when the solo, that cat shit of a solo ends... They do the breakdown where it's just the riff, and then the drums come in.
Yeah, the reverse
reverb thing, right? On the wrong fucking beat.
Yeah.
Every time I hear this, it's like that needs to be on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, that feels so wrong. The caveman beats,
That's certainly what. It's got to be a Tom Worman. Tom Worman? Is that his name? Tom Worman, right? He was the producer. Has to be his call, I think, in the end. Right? He's the producer.
Yeah, my impression is that if you talk to him today, he'd be like, yeah, I didn't give a shit about this song.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like, this is the one I just wanted to get done with because it's really just so stupid. Because...
I'm sure he got a great check from it,
Well, because, I briefly just want to cut in and say, compare it to, like, Every Rose Has Its Thorn, which is from the same album, which was a hit, right? And in my estimation, it's at least a better, more worked on, well thought out song. Okay, now, is it the most mind-blowing thing you've ever heard, ever? No. But does it feel like it's at least thought out and has pop sensibility to it? I say yes.
Definitely.
So to me, I'm like, clearly, this was a song that nobody insisted that anybody spend any real time on.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think JP said the same thing. Like, that's just a better song.
Right.
Every Rose Has Its Thorn is definitely the best song that they ever wrote.
Right.
By far.
Yeah. It's almost good.
Yeah, for a rock ballad of that era, that's a good song. That
it had a lot of good qualities to it.
Yeah, it's the most relatable for sure.
Yeah,
it's a good bad song.
Right,
It's a good bad song. Is exactly right. This is supposed to be like, well, we got to connect with those kids out there and tell them like partying's fun. This is the era of the party, and we got to fucking sell this.
Right, which is why the line, they say I spend my money on women and wine, is so funny. I mean, if you were like a teenager or even, you couldn't relate to that. You're not spending money on women and wine, You're going out, you're getting your cheap beers, you're, hooking up whenever you can in the backseat of a car. I mean, we're not even talking about women here. I mean, it's just silly.
They're girls. They're fucking girls, bro. And
I think it's like a
yeah, we got the stats in there because
I think
if it's all teenagers coming to the fucking show, you know Bret Michaels fucked a bunch of kids underage.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what? I think Nothing But a Good Time is supposed to be like the middle schoolers' idea
of what it means,
of what the older kids who are rebellious are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
It's not real because it's not, it's kind of like, this is what you think we do. We spend money on women and wine and we, so it's not as much like, Motley Crue or Guns N' Roses who are like, no, this is what I do. I am a horrible person and I shoot up and I fall asleep and shit myself in the gutter.
Yeah. Mr. Brownstone.
That's from experience. Yeah, Mr. Browntown. So let's take this over and let's do our lyric rewrite section where we take a section of the song and fix the lyrics. Turn it into something not so stupid.
Right.
So for this episode, we took the first stanza from the verse, which is not a dime, I can't pay my rent. I can barely make it through the week. Saturday night, I'd like to make my girl, but right now I can't make ends meet.
All right.
You want to go first, JP, or shall I? We'll sandwich it.
Okay, hold on. I want to sing it. I want to sing it just because I want to do a Bret Michaels imitation. But I was writing from the point of Bret. I almost said it again. I was writing from the point of Bret Michaels himself and saying, "Not a thought inside my head. I can barely form a word to speak. I'm a dumb fuck. I'm a copycat. No originality."
Yeah.
There you go.
That's great. Do that one more time. I like that.
Not a thought inside my head. I can barely form a word to speak. I'm a dumb fuck. I'm a copycat. No originality.
Dude, that's money.
Not a thought inside my head. That's spectacular. As far as I know, that could be what he says.
It's basically what he's telling us is that exact thing. So totally. I just said, what is he actually saying to me right now? And I just wrote down what he's actually saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to get in no originality.
I just want to keep singing it.
No originality.
It's accurate as hell. That's what that shit is. That's great. What you got, Joe?
Well, I wasn't. It was funny. I wasn't sure what the because this is a new segment. I wasn't sure how it went, and I was like, am I supposed to try to make this song good with good lyrics? I didn't know it was supposed to be funny, so I didn't. Long story short, I didn't do it because I'm like, I just got to see what these guys are going to do because I certainly can't write good lyrics for this song. Now it's clear I missed out on an awesome opportunity to goof on Bret Michaels.
Quite all right.
But anyway, let's hear what you have, Jeff.
Okay. Nodded off, waiting at the vet, but I tried to make it seem discreet. Saturday night, I like to mate with squirrels, but right now I have a parakeet.
Basically,
good.
I don't know. It's good because you're using words that are actually fun and cool. Parakeet. I mean, you just got parakeet into a song, and that's a feat to get the parakeet.
And
it's great songwriting.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, you see, there's a narrative that starts from the beginning, goes to the end. It's a story about a guy who's waiting at the vet, who's nodding off, and he happens to be a squirrel fucker, but all he has is a bird. And
here's what I love about it. You bring up the vet right away, and I'm like, ooh, this is great. Right. I wonder, is it his dog? Is it his cat? I'm already starting to think, it's the imagination's going wild, and then you come hard with the parakeet. Which is a total,
left field. Out of left field.
It's got a payoff.
Oh, big payoff.
That's the problem with the song. There's no payoff to this song.
There's no payoff.
That was great.
At least it ends. That's the best part.
You guys both did a great job on that. I love it.
Thanks,
buddy. Thank you.
I'm really digging this new segment. Actually, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And what hashtag are we going to use for that?
I have 4 hashtags here. I have hashtag unskinnybotbirth. I have hashtag Bryan Adamsisms. I have hashtag resolution note and hashtag umfla. We can use whatever one. We can use all of them if you want to.
Okay, well, for this one, why don't we do hashtag unskinnybopbirth for the for the lyric rewrite.
Okay.
So if anybody listening wants to do their own lyric rewrite, hashtag it unskinny bop birth, and then hopefully when we get some in, we can be like, oh, this one's cool, and we'll retweet them and all that stuff. And
great.
Yeah.
Let's hear your own version of the first verse.
Yes.
Hashtag unskinny bop birth.
Love it.
It's killer.
So it's at this point that we do the segment, What Did We Learn Today, Children? So, JP, let's do a little review on the highlights, the important things that we figured out for today's show.
I have 3. I have this song is a terrible parallel to Van Halen, which I never, which for me was an eye opener. Which thanks Joe for that one, because I never made that parallel, but I absolutely see that one.
Good, thank you.
The other one for me is
you're welcome.
Bret Michaels has diabetes. I learned that.
This is very
and
true.
The other one is that CeCe DeVille has absolutely deplorable sustain. Those are the 3 things. I mean, I guess I could have figured that one out for myself, but I just felt like writing it down there anyway. Maybe I should start there with Jeff thinks, and the world hears it.
And the world agrees.
Yes.
All right, so let's take this over to our last segment, This Song Fucking Jams,
a
pleasant alternative. This is the part of the show where we talk about a song that doesn't suck.
Yes.
JP, would you like to go first and talk about what you're jamming on these days?
I gonna stay on the Ben Weinman path of life right now, which I talked about last one. But Ben Weinman,
Dillinger Escape Plan.
Yes, so he is now doing another project with it's called the Giraffe Tongue Orchestra.
Okay.
And I want to say that I love the album, but I actually don't. I've been listening to it. It's not like I don't like it, but it isn't as awesome as I'd like it to be. But that being said, the album is called Broken Lines. The title track on the album is the last track on the album, called Broken Lines. Now, this band consists of Brent Hines from Mastodon. It's a supergroup. Brent Hines from Mastodon, William Duvall from Alice in Chains. It's got Thomas Pridgen. Mm-hmm. Then there's Peter Griffin or Pete Griffin. I'm not sure where he comes from. I forgot to do my research on that.
Family Guy.
But yes. Anyway, so this song is really cool because, one, it's in 5/8, which I love. I love 5/8 so much.
5/8. Yeah.
And it very much is a hybrid of the way that Brent Hines does that cool arpeggiated stuff that he does with it's and it has that, but also with it's like a good hybrid of the Dillinger Mastodon thing. And then at the 156 mark, it just like switches gears out of nowhere and just like it's almost like piecing together 2 songs, but that works really well together. And it gets insane, and it just like takes off into sort of a madness. And then it comes back, and there's like this really cool like little bass solo at the 320 mark, and then it starts.
Yeah.
I know, but it's not like a solo in a bad way. It's like a one like holding a note on the bass and just making the note ring out and be something rather than just nothing. Yeah. It actually is something, and it actually the reason why I even wrote it down here is because it feels like something, and he's just holding it. It's not like a solo as much as it's like a bass singing or something like that. It's kind of cool, and then it builds up into this outro that is a swing that just fucking it worked so well. And the first time I heard the song, I was like, whoa, it just kind of came out of nowhere. But it's like sleazy and like weird because it got Ben behind or Brent playing all this weird solo stuff underneath all of it, as it's just this repetition going through that's just swinging. And like, it's just like this demented swing that carries the song out. And it's repetitive, but it kind of builds in itself. I don't know. And then it kind of fades out a little bit. It just, I don't know. That song is what I wish the whole album was like. But this Broken Line song, it's awesome. And the way that they switch gears and the way that they do it, it's cool. It's cool to hear William Duvall do something other than Alice in Chains too. To hear what he really sounds like. Because, he's doing a lot of Lane stuff, like sort of like a Jerry Lane thing. That's kind of what his role is in that band. So to hear him in this, it's cool because he does have a bluesiness to his singing, which I do like. I like that. And I don't know. It's this particular song, everything about it is right. I wish that the whole album was like that. Giraffe Tongue Orchestra.
Well, maybe that's where they're moving. Maybe that's where they're going, Last song on the album, they're going to start there. next time.
It would be cool.
I'm definitely going to check out that song. No question about it. So anyway, So you want to hear about me? And so I know, I love hearing about new music. And when you guys do this segment, it's great. I'm always checking out stuff, but I know it's also like, well, could be new or old, what's happening. So it's just timely, and for me, a lot of music is, how well it stands over time and how lyrics might actually mean different things to me at different times in my life. I mean, that's like the amazing
the coolest
stuff.
part about music, I think, as I've gotten older, I think.
Right. And like why the Beatles are like one of my favorite groups. It's just like, I don't know how these English dudes in the 60s somehow can fucking figure out
touch me right here.
Yeah. So weird. But
cool.
But anyway, before I left Atlanta, some friends of mine, we started a vinyl club, just so we could like really listen to music, and we'd get like 6 of us together and everybody would bring an album side and you'd listen to the music, and so I've been listening to a lot of stuff that was during the vinyl era, right? So 60s, 70s, some 80s. After the election, and this is not to get political or anything, but I had put on one of my favorite records growing up was the live Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Yes.
The live Under a Blood Red
great album.
Sun.
Right. Yeah.
Right, by U2. And it was funny. I had recently purchased that, and without thinking of it, I kind of put on that record, and it's live. So good live records are amazing, right? I mean, bad live records are, a lot of times you'd rather hear the recorded version. But this is one where the songs really resonate even more. Yeah. And the first song is Sunday Bloody Sunday, and it was like, I can't believe the news today. I can't close my eyes and make it go away. And it's the way he sings it too, right? It's not just, I can read it for days, but when you hear Bono sing it, it's crazy serious, right? Yeah. And he really means it. And it's a pretty good dichotomy to like, Poison. Like, why is it bad? It's because it's so not real. There's nothing real about it.
Absolutely.
And people don't like you too, say what you will, but he's as real as it gets, especially in those early days, right?
Yeah, especially then. And they're such an amazing live act, and they're known for just unbelievable shows. So it's such a perfect thing to have a live.
I would have loved to have seen. I just they've kind of become this sort of caricature of themselves in a lot of Bono especially.
Right.
Yeah. Like but the older stuff. That stuff still resonates with me, and like he meant those things. So when I hear those older songs like that, I get behind them. But it's like after like the Batman movie thing, I don't know. I just kind of lost it with those guys.
Well,
but I'm sorry to interrupt.
And check this lyric out too. This is the one that really got me. So I'm listening to the song, and it's like about a totally different thing. Civil War in Ireland. Yep. And one of his, this is from 1983, right? He's like, and it's true we are immune when fact is fiction and TV reality. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, dude, that's very insightful.
How did he even write that back then? I mean, how would he? That's like foreshadowing.
Yeah, some serious foreshadowing there. And I was just, I don't know, I was just blown away. And this segment is what's affecting you right now. No. This is definitely it.
Great.
It could not be more
great
perfect.
Fucking pick. I mean, I can't wait to get off talking to you assholes and listen to that song right now. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
And not just that song, but that version.
Yeah. That version, go listen to that live version.
I also love when he stretches out and he kind of does his little riffing things. He's such a great entertainer and
he'll take you on a journey. Yeah. You don't know where he's going, but he'll take you somewhere.
And then when you get there, it's like, fuck. So
I got mine queued up here. I'm ready when we're done. I got it queued up right here.
Yes. So recently I was listening to this podcast called the Unstoppable Recording Machine Podcast, which is obviously run by a couple of recording engineers, these 3 guys who are recording engineers. And they had the guy, Tua Madsen from Denmark on.
He's awesome.
Yeah, who's a Danish recording engineer who does a lot of metal stuff. He's done The Haunted, and he did the new Meshuggah album. So that's kind of why they had him on. They're discussing recording the new Meshuggah album. And so as they're going along, and it's a great interview, it's amazing how you'd think he'd be talking about tons of technical things, but instead he just kind of goes like, nah, I don't know, I just do regular stuff. And it's pretty fun how it's like, oh, it's amazing not because he does crazy shit, which in the end he ends up doing a few crazy things, but he kind of
plays it down,
writes it off. Yeah. But really, it's just, he's got a talent and an ear and an experience, and that's why he can do, great records. It's what it really comes down to, right?
Yeah.
Always.
But he mentioned this band, Benia Reach, and said they're a Norwegian band, and he described them as Meshuggah, but slower. So I'm like, all right, I got to get on this. And I started checking them out, and they've already broken up. They broke up like 2 years ago, but they have 3 albums.
How do you spell that?
Benea is the first word, and then Reach, Reach, like Reach. And not all of it is amazing, but the ones that are fucking cool. Definitely screaming, singing, heavy, low-tuned. I think they're just on 7 strings, it seems like. They're not all the way down to 8. And slightly mathy. It's like they kind of took, that Meshuggah
the Nothin era of Meshuggah? Because that was sort of a slow Meshuggah era. The Nothin.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of that era, but not 8-string, right? Mm-hmm. So, and it's mathy, but it's not as complicated.
Mm-hmm. Nobody can do what they do.
No.
I mean, nobody can do it.
No one can. But it's great because it still has that grooving quality, and it's a little mathy, but it's not too mathy that you're just like, my brain, which is fun. And so the one I'm going to pick out is from the record that he did, Alleviate. Alleviat, and it's the first song, Awakening, and it just has this amazing groove. It's like, and it's not a long song; it's like 3 minutes, and it's it's mostly just like 2 parts or whatever. But the main verse groove is so great. It's doing a lot of this kind of that classic kind of 16th note, fucking heavy shit. But then does at the end of the phrase, they always do this great syncopated thing, that I think is very different. A lot of bands that do that kind of thing don't do that. That's much more of a funk move. And I love that they throw that in there. It catches my ear. It starts with this great delay guitar line that's got the dotted 8th thing, very The Edge kind of thing. Yeah. And then the band comes in with the riff, and that lick keeps coming back, which is great. It's like, oh, that's not just the little intro thing that we throw away. No, that keeps coming back, and it's, that piece of it is very melodic and just kind of a halftime feel, big sludgy and lumbering and powerful. That's one of the ones that I like the most.
I got that queued up now too.
Cool. I'm checking that out too. Both of these things. I
like that.
Love it, guys.
Very
especially
powerful.
I've been Meshuggah is one of those bands that I've always been interested in, but not really known, heard much or known.
If you
want
to just go listen to Destroy, Erase, Improve from the beginning.
That's the one, man.
Just go Destroy, Erase, Improve, and just start there from track 1. And that record is if you like that record, you're going to get into it, and if you don't like that record, you're not going to like them. Yeah,
then forget it. Yeah. I love the title. That's great.
Yeah, the title's great.
It's killer.
And to me, Chaos Sphere, which is the one after it, it's to me, it's like they're really just like one album, but side A and side
exactly.
B. Yeah. And it's like they're both equally as good, and the same kind of era for them.
But I think
before they weren't playing 8-string guitars yet,
and it is live. It's not Axe Effects and stuff yet either. Line 6 stuff.
Right. They didn't get into that until Nothing. So it's like those two really kind of go together.
Yeah, but the Chaos Sphere sort of takes it to the next level. Okay. So if you like Destroy, Erase, Improve, then go to Chaos Sphere because it's
and then I'm gonna check out Benia Reach.
Yeah. Check them out, and they're not very well known either. Like
I'm surprised I've never heard of this band. Yeah,
they weren't on a big label at all, and I don't know if they toured. It seems like they barely made it out of Norway. And like when I was listening to them on Spotify, I looked at how many listens they had, and it's like 1,000 or something.
Wow.
It's like super low. They're basically like a local band.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were on like Century
Right.
Media or something like that. It's just they just never kind of got it up to that point.
Well, it's not always, it's rarely about how good you are, right?
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's only a piece of the puzzle.
As Poison has so
It really is.
clearly shown us today.
They have. So now that we brought it back to the Poison.
Perfect way to bring it back
That's
around,
my job.
JP.
That's what I have him around for. This guy, he gets it, man. He gets it. Plugs, Joe, what are you plugging these days? What do you got to do?
Well, I've got a band with some of my best friends from San Francisco, and we've recently finished an album.
You should mention Tim Pride and
Tony
Tony Molson.
Tim Pride and Tony Molson, great
From
musicians
Devil in
and
California.
greatest friends. Yeah, that's right. Tony's a singer from Devil in California, an up-and-coming hard rock outfit from the Bay. Definitely check them out if you're around.
Definitely.
Where they're playing. But we've been playing together for years, and it took us 3 years to finish this album. But we're pretty excited about it, and it should be available in your usual suspects within the next month or so. So just remember, it's Monte Casino. The name of the album is Here and There, and that's because we recorded it in a lot of different places while I was moving around from Atlanta to here. San Francisco.
Gotcha.
So that was Tony's idea. He captured the spirit of the album with that title. So so I just wanted to push that if you don't mind.
Absolutely great band. And I probably should mention that you and I were in a band briefly.
We were,
like,
and that's how we know each other.
Ago? Yeah.
Yeah. We played in Narc, and you can check out the Narc album called
Is that
Small
still
Talk.
around?
If you want to get still on iTunes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good times.
Yeah.
What kind of music was it?
I don't know.
Rock band, but it was
rock.
Yeah, it was like it had pop elements to it. It was definitely catchy stuff, but it was
Heavier at times.
Heavier.
Yeah, mostly hard rock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, the Narc album is Small Talk, definitely. And Monte Casino, we have other albums out too. So if you're interested, give it a listen, JP.
Monte Casino.
And I'm about to hear about your band, which I want to come see, let alone listen to.
Well, I have a couple bands, Schwarzenegger, but I don't think Schwarzenegger got. We were supposed to. I thought we were going to be playing at the Canyon Club. I don't think that gig is happening in December. So I know.
So don't go to it.
And Dinosaur Dick is playing. I don't remember what day it was. I think it's. Damn it! I might have to call you back on that one. Fuck.
Yeah, I could drop that in.
It's in Long Beach, Joe. So when I'm playing here again up in this area, which will be after the new year, because this time of year to play shows it's just tough to get people to go out to the shows.
Yeah.
But
do you play anywhere near Santa Monica?
I actually just played at the Irish Times over here, which is not really a live music venue for Halloween, and we fucking destroyed that. It was awesome.
Nice.
But
sad to miss that.
It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's just we just got to find the right venue. It's got to find the right scene.
Yeah.
It's just not in LA. It's just not here.
And what's the other band?
Schwarzenegger. We play
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any Dinosaur Dick stuff online. It's because it's sort of like a very underground thing. But Schwarzenegger, you can find plenty.
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, come on, yeah.
Is that how you sing?
Yeah, no, that's. What about you, Jeff? Do you have any plugs? Well, you always plug yours afterwards anyway.
Yeah, I'll drop it in.
Drop it. All right. Well, this timing's actually good. I got to go get my son from the old preschool.
Perfect.
So.
Yeah, sorry we kept you longer than anticipated.
Are you kidding? I could do this all day, man. You guys are awesome. I love it.
Great.
Seriously,
Okay,
I'm
cool,
already
man. Thank
looking
you so
forward
much.
to the next time you get me on.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring it home. For Joe K, for JP, for Poison, I'm Jeff Callenbach. Don't let the man get you down.